Good evening. It's Friday, December 10th. Our Advent devotionals. Apologize for last night. Got a bit distracted. We all do. But anyway, Genesis 16. Now, this is where the Israelites are being given manna in the desert, and they complain and grumble at the beginning of the chapter that, man, we're going to starve to death out here. We brought us out here in the desert to die. Back in Egypt, we might have been slaves, but man, we could sit around the pot. We knew we had food. We understood what we had, and we were content, or we were just willing to take that rather than this unknown that you've brought us into. So they're grumbling and complaining to Moses. It's a companion devotion to Tuesdays, where we talked about enough, the fish and loaves. And there I talked about how that we often want to be the boy, the disciples, be like Jesus. We don't want to be like the people, the crowd, the multitude who are unprepared. And here with Israel brought out into the desert, we find another crowd that is unprepared for what they are encountering. And they're encountering God, completely unprepared, unwilling to want to lean deeply into and trust. And so when we think about both the boy with the fish and loaves and how that turned out to be enough because God was involved, we find this discussion today about what is enough for us. I think it's a wonderful thought during this Advent season when we focus in on God, realizing that He is the God of all creation, that He is the one who created us and every living being. What's enough for us? We just came through a pandemic. I said we came through it. You may still be in the midst of it. We may still be in the midst of it. Who knows? But there wasn't enough toilet paper apparently. And if you're like me, you probably have a closet now, and it contains certain things that you've decided that you don't want to ever be without. I don't know what those are for you. But we kind of have this idea of daily bread, the manna that was given in Genesis 16, they could only pick up enough for the day. If they took more, it would spoil. When we think about our lives, how often do we try to gather safety and comfort in the amount, the quantity of what we have, rather than I have enough? I remember as a young boy, and I've always loved donuts, and my mother was always trying to keep me to not eat all of the donuts, which she was unsuccessful, but she would tell me one is sufficient. It's enough. And I have always remembered her telling me that, because she would always remind me of that. She would watch me eat a lot. She would go, no, one would have been sufficient. One would have been enough. The only time that we need to declare we don't have enough of something is when we don't have enough of God in our lives. All the accumulation of things, we're able to acquire those through the blessings of God so that we might share them. If you have enough, if you have plenty, find ways to share. Find ways to bless others. Find ways to lift others up. Find ways to show others the love of God. Do you have enough? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're struggling right now. God has not abandoned you, and God has not forsaken you. He's with you. And my prayer is He leads someone who has what you need into your life, and they'll be obedient to God. We're all part of the family of God. We are the community of believers. And with that in mind, remember, God loves you, and so do we. Blessings on you, and we'll see you again soon.